So let us say if I have the function is 1 upon 3x plus 2 and I wanted to find out the derivative using first principle. So first principle derivative, if I apply here, so it will be limit h tending to 0, f of x plus h. Now f of x plus h is 1 over 3 times x plus h plus 2 minus f of x, that's 1 upon 3x plus 2 and whole thing divided by h. So f of x plus h minus f of x and divided by h. So that's about your the formula that we have. And next is the simplification, like how do we simplify? So the simplification is basically you take LCM of this, so it become 3x plus 2 minus 3x minus 3h minus 2 over 3x plus 3h plus 2 in one bracket, and the other bracket is 3x plus 2 and whole thing divided by h, so that takes h out here. So that's about your basic step here. I'm not writing limit h tending to 0. You need to write limit h tending to 0 until the last point, until the end minute. So let us say if you have got here 3x plus 2 getting cancelled and we are left at the end is minus 3h, and this h also get cancelled with this. So we have the formula is minus 3 upon 3x plus 3h plus 2 and 3x plus 2 out here. So that's about the formula. And now if you plug h as 0 in this step, because you have simplified, so you can just plug in the h as 0. So the answer is 3x plus 2 the whole square. So that's a derivative using first principle. This is the basic logic. This is the basic for derivation of the derivative expression for this particular function using the first derivative. So first principle. So that's about the first principle, just recollection. If you have got any questions, we can take the question. All right, our next step is just remembering all the formulas that we have. So if we look at the list of formulas, I have already shared a document with you all. So if you can just make sure that you go over that and you will get to know all the formulas of derivatives. The first thing that I want to just quickly recollect is the product rule. Product rule, then you got chain rule, quotient rule, and of course we have got something called L'Hopital rule. So these four things are very important to firstly, these are the pure derivative concepts. And L'Hopital rule I'm doing is because this is one of the ways to evaluate the limits. Okay, and this is also sometimes assessed in like advanced calculus. So I'll just take it out here. Now, coming to the first thing is product rule. Now, when you talk about product rule, your product rule is basically if you got uv dash plus vu dash. This is the derivative of uv. So when you're talking about derivative of product of two functions, that's what exactly it is. So derivative of u times v is uv dash plus vu dash. And if there are three functions, like let's say derivative of uvw, it's going to be uvw dash plus uv dash w and u dash vw. So like if there are three functions, then this is how you do the product rule. Chain rule, I'm going to take certain examples. Quotient rule is basically if you got derivative of u by v. Derivative of u by v is here we got v squared vu dash minus uv dash. So vu dash minus uv dash is your derivative of quotient rule using quotient rule. And now the main thing is the chain rule. So chain rule is basically like lots of times it's quite deceiving. So let's say, how do we apply chain rule? What is chain rule? So if you got y equals to f of g of x, suppose this is my function, and I wanted to find out the derivative of this function. So the derivative of this function is going to be dy by dx is going to be f dash of g of x. So first step is that do not alter the inside function. So first you derivate the outer, or you can say parental function, and then don't forget to multiply with the derivative of inside, which is g dash x. The same way if you got, let's say, y equals to f of g of h of x, like if there are three functions. So composite within, like, multiple composite functions. So you start with outer one. So f dash of g of hx. The first step, you don't touch the inside one. Then now go one step up. So first you differentiated f. Now you differentiate g. So it is g dash of h of x. Then now you go into inside, which is h dash x finally. So this is referred as a chain rule because you are following a particular chain, like you go first differentiate the first part, then you differentiate inside, and then go to the inner one. So this is about the chain rule, and let's just take certain examples that are kind of essential for understanding. So let's say if you got y equals to sine cube x squared. Suppose if I want to differentiate this. Secondly, if I have got, let's say, y equals to ln of x squared plus x upon x minus 3. How do we do this? The third one is if you got y equals to e to the power x times cos of x cubed. So these are explicitly the questions based on the chain rule and product rule. So let's take one by one. So suppose if I wanted to differentiate sine cube x squared. So now before I go ahead on this, just I wanted to quickly recollect the basic formulas. Like for example, y equals to, if you've got sine x function, sine x derivative is cos x. So sine x is cos x. If you got cos x is negative sine x. If you got e to the power x, the derivative is e to the power x. If you got ln x, the derivative is 1 upon x. If you got tan x, the derivative of this is sec squared x. Derivative of cot x is minus cosec squared x. Then after this, you've got some of this explicit ones, which I would refer it as like, only AHL type of question. Sine inverse x derivative is 1 upon root of 1 minus x squared. Then cos inverse x derivative is negative 1 upon root 1 minus x squared. And if you got, let's say, tan inverse x, the derivative of this is 1 upon 1 plus x squared. So these are the basic functions that you need to know by heart, like if you wish to save your time. These will be also used explicitly in your, what do you say, the advanced integral, which will be doing like Maclaurin series and all. So this is going to be very, very important. Make sure you know this. It's not only that they are the integration concepts, if you don't know, that's okay. So you must know these basic formulas by heart. Coming to these explicit questions that I have given here. So when you're talking about sine cube x squared, now just going on to the rule that we learned just now. So sine cube x squared, when you do here, the first thing is that the parent function is the cube function. So parent function is cube. So you do one thing is just write one more step before differentiating this. So you always start from the first one, like parent functions. You differentiate always the power first. So when I differentiate the power, I get 3 times sine of x squared, the whole square, into derivative of sine x squared, which is going to be cos of x squared into 2x. So you see that, like, I first differentiated f of x, which was x cube function. Then I differentiated g of x, which is sine x. Then I differentiated x squared, which is 2x. So f of g of h of x, this is a unique example that you kind of need to understand. So this is where you need to be very clear, because in Maclaurin series and all, you will be using this kind of problem solving. Next part is the ln x squared plus x upon x minus 3 derivative. So when you're differentiating ln x squared plus x upon x minus 3, lots of people they tend to do directly on the function. Let's say ln x squared plus x. First you modify it as ln x squared plus x minus ln x minus 3. Now you do the derivative of this. So when you're doing the derivative of this, it is 1 upon x squared plus x into 2x plus 2. So ln 2x plus 1. So ln fx derivative is 1 upon fx into f dash x minus ln x minus 3 derivative is 1 upon x minus 3 into 1. So this is the basic, what you can say is the quotient rule. So you can avoid the quotient rule using this. So basic chain rule, when you look at, I can simply apply a little bit of log properties, and then this becomes your dy by dx for the given expression. So derivative of ln x square plus x, when you talk about, it is 1 upon x square plus x times 2x plus 1 minus derivative of x minus ln x minus 3 will be 1 upon x minus 3 times 1. So this is about the derivative of ln x square plus x upon x minus 3. Alternatively, if I can just show it to you, let's say an alternate is, what I could have done is that instead of doing this part, I could have just done the chain rule on this. So let's say if I would do chain rule on ln this thing, it'll be 1 upon x square plus x upon x minus 3, and then you do quotient rule on this. So x squared plus x upon x minus 3. If you do the quotient rule on this, d by dx on of x squared plus x minus 3. So this is where it becomes a little complicated. So quotient rule, you can do it on this. Now 1 upon fx into derivative of this. Now here you apply quotient rule separately. So it's logically, this is a very interesting step. You must know how to kind of apply certain properties along with this. Can I request you to do the third question? Can we try the third question on our own? So what we have, the next one is y equals to e to the power x cos of x cube. So basically now here what we have to do is dy by dx will be the product rule along with the chain rule on this. So it'll become e to the power x cos of x cube into plus e to the power x as it is. Derivative of cos of x cube is negative sine of x cube times 3x squared. So lots of times you need to take e to the power x common, and so you can simplify expression. So it'll become cos of x cube minus 3x squared sine of x cube. So this is the derivative of this part. Yeah. So now the problem that arises, like, you know, for higher derivatives, we need to understand something called as Maclaurin series also. Now, before I go to Maclaurin series, I just wanted to kind of do one particular question, which is on L'Hopital rule, just kind of reviewing that particular concept as well. So generally, when you're evaluating limits, when you're finding out the limits of a given function, lots of times you notice that, let's say, if you are finding limit of any function of the form f of x over g of x. So f of x over g of x format, where x, like, you know, tends to, let's say, 0 or something. And if you plug in x as 0 in the beginning itself, and if your answer is basically coming as either 0 by 0 format or infinity by infinity format, you can apply L'Hopital rule that I'm going to touch base upon. So this is same as, if your expression is in this form, you can keep derivating numerator and denominator until this form disappears. So let's say if you have got this expression, you can do limit x tending to 0. This will be same as f dash x upon g dash x. But don't apply quotient rule as a whole. Don't think that this is a single fraction. So try to do the derivative of numerator upon try to do the derivative of denominator. And if even at this stage, if your answer comes to be 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity again, you can differentiate one more time. So this can be written as, if I have got, let's say, if I plug in x as 0 out here, and if still that 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form persists, you can do limit f dash of, let's say, f double dash x upon, as x tends to 0, f upon g double dash x. So this you can keep doing until you get a finite answer. Okay. Now, one of the example that I would like to kind of start with is taking the example of the first one, which is, let's say, limit x tending to 0 for sine x upon x. We all know the answer is coming as, for this is 0. I mean, answer is 1. Because as x tends to 0, sine x approaches to x value. So if you find out sine of 0.01, it'll be very close to 0.01. But forget about that. If you plug x as 0 here, I get sine 0 upon 0. Sine 0 we all know is coming as 0. So sine 0 is nothing but 0. So that's 0 by 0 format. So if now here, if you got 0 by 0 format, what I can just do is I can do limit now x tending to 0. I can differentiate sine x, which is cos x, and I can differentiate x, which is 1. Now, if you plug in x as 0 here, I get cos of 0 is nothing but 1 upon 1, hence the answer is 1. So you can see how L'Hopital rule kind of helps us to kind of get the desired answer. So this is your basic L'Hopital rule, where if your answer is coming in either 0 by 0 format or infinity by infinity format, you can do this particular approach or method. So what we have is, this is the second question. That's basically limit x tending to 0 for 1 over x minus cot x function. Now this is a question explicitly. You can see that there is no such straight away format where you can see f of x over g of x format. So if you convert this cot x as cos x upon sin x format, and if you take LCM of that, we eventually get here as sin x minus x cos x upon x sin x. So if you take LCM, since we know cot x can be written as cos x upon sin x, so we can just take the LCM here and we get this part. Now if you put here, let's say if I put 0, what we get is sin 0 minus 0 times cos 0. So sin 0 is 0 minus 0, which is also 0 upon 0 times 0. So it is of the format 0 by 0. So since the question has got the format of 0 by 0 here and in the beginning, I can just do the derivative of this numerator. So derivative of sin x, you'll notice, is cos x, and on x cos x you apply the product rule. So that's your cos x minus x sin x. So that's your product rule on this particular part. If you do the derivative of x cos x, it will be x times sin x, negative sin x plus cos x, which is this part. And then you get x cos x plus sin x. If you simplify this, this becomes cos x and cos x goes away, and you at the end is left with x sin x upon x cos x plus sin x. Now, once again, if you plug in x as 0 here, what's happening is, if you plug in x as 0 at this stage, what's happening is that again I'm getting the answer as 0 by 0 format. So again, my answer is coming as 0 by 0, because if you look at 0, if I plug in x as 0 here, again my answer is coming in 0 by 0 format. So since your answer is again coming in 0 by 0 format, you can do one more time derivative on this. So our function is x sin x upon x cos x plus sin x. So if you do the derivative on this, again you get this as an answer, which is x cos x plus sin x upon x sin x plus cos x plus cos x. Now, in this stage, what we have to do is we have to be a little kind of careful to keep checking the answer at every part where, you see that whether your answer is converging to 0 by 0 or not. Now, at the end, if you see here, your answer is still coming, in the last step, it comes as this part is again becoming 0, because if you put x as 0 here, but denominator is not 0, denominator is coming as 2. So it's no more 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity format. You got to stop there. And this is basically a glimpse of L'Hopital rule, where you might have to do derivative 2 or 3 times. If it's a 7-8 mark question, you might have to do derivative 2 or 3 times to get the desired answer. So this is about the L'Hopital rule. If you got any question, you can ask me. So if you look at the first step, when we're evaluating the, let's say, limit for 1 upon x sin x using L'Hopital rule, firstly make sure that this is taken, you take LCM of this, so sin x minus x upon x sin x. Then you plug x as 0 here, so you'll get sine 0 is 0 upon minus 0 upon 0. So it's 0 by 0 format. So you start with the first, like, derivating it. So sine x derivative is cos x minus x derivative is 1 upon sine x plus x cos x. So once again here, if you do derivative, what we are getting is, we are once again getting the answer as 0 by 0 itself, because cos 0, if you plug in, cos 0 is coming as 1 minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is basically 0 upon, so you get 0 by 0 itself. Now, once again, you do the derivative on this. So if you do the derivative on this, at the end, you will get basically, the next step will be derivative of cos x is negative sin x here, and derivative of 1 is negative 1 is going to be 0 upon apply derivative on sin x is cos x, and derivative on x cos x, you apply product rule and you get this step. Now, luckily here at this stage, if you do, you're getting the answer once again at 0 by 2, which is nothing but the answer is basically coming as 0. So this is just like a kind of a glimpse of the L'Hopital rule, and I hope it is basically clear to you all. So here, when you look at when you're finding out the derivative limit for basically x minus sin x upon x cube. So we first check whether it's coming at 0 by 0 or not. So if you plug in x as 0, this is 0 upon 0, which is like, your like perfect form to apply the L'Hopital rule. So the first part is to do the derivative. X derivative is 1 and derivative of minus sin x is minus cos x upon x cube derivative is 3x squared. And so what we get is, we get x minus sin x upon x cube as, after one more derivative you do, you will get sin x upon 6x. Now sin x upon x, you can do one more time derivative if you want, because same still 0 by 0, and at the end you'll get cos x. But anyway, we all should know that limit of sin x when it upon x as x tends to 0, this answer is basically 1. So sin x upon x as limit x tends to 0 is 1. So this is the basic important rule for your what you can say the L'Hopital, and like, I hope you have understood how to execute the plan now. So let's say just the general part where, like, a lot of students have trouble with is the implicit differentiation. So like, suppose if my function is like y equals to f of x, this is referred as the explicit relation. Now where your y terms are one side and f of x terms are one side. But if you've got something like this, let's say if you got x cube plus y cube equals to 3x squared y, obviously this is your implicit, like you can see your x's and y's are together. Now, for Maclaurin series, a lot of times you're asked to do the derivative like dy by dx and the second derivative, which is d square y by dx square. Like, see, a lot of times students are able to do dy by dx for implicit relations, but the trouble or challenge comes when it is second derivative. Okay, so let's first try to do the first derivative for this. Now here, as I'm telling you, whenever you're differentiating, let the x raised to n with respect to x. So the formula is n x to the power n minus 1. But when you are differentiating, let's say y raised to n, the formula is n y raised to n minus 1. But remember, there is a chain rule here. Y is a composite function here. So y raised to n is a composite function. So into dy by 2. So whenever you're differentiating y raised to n, you must remember that it is n y raised to n minus 1 times dy by dx. Now, coming to this particular part, which is basically x cube plus y cube equals to 3x squared y. So let's begin up the derivation. So you're differentiating with respect to x. So let's say if I'm differentiating with respect to x, what we have got is derivative of x cube plus y cube. So derivative of x cube is going to be 3x squared plus derivative of y cube is going to be 3y squared into dy by dx. So whenever you're differentiating y, it is with respect to x, so it is dy by dx. And this one you apply product rule on. So when you are doing the derivative of 3x squared y, you apply product rule, you can take 3 common. Okay, and derivative of x squared is 2x times y as it is, and plus x squared times derivative of y. Derivative of y will be dy by dx because y is to 1. So it will be 1 y is to 0 times dy by dx. So what we got is basically, let's say, into dy by dx. So where you see that there are two places where you see dy by dx. Now, if you have to make dy by dx a subject, like you open up the bracket, so it'll become 3x squared plus 3y squared dy by dx plus equals to 6xy plus 3x squared dy by dx. Now you're going to take dy by dx to the one side. So when you take dy by dx to one side, you get 3. So you get 3y squared minus 3x squared dy by dx equals to 6xy minus 3x squared. So you just divide this thing out here. You get at the end as dy by dx is going to be basically, so dy by dx is, so dy by dx is 6xy minus 3x squared upon 3y squared minus 3x squared. So this is your dy by dx expression. Now, a lot of times after this, you're supposed to solve simultaneous equation, like, there's a find out where slope is 0 and all this stuff. So that is not like, I'm not linking up with that. But here the skill is in finding out how do I find out second derivative. Now, if I go on applying quotient rule, chain rule on this, it is going to take forever. Quotient rule, chain rule on this is going to take at least like what, close to like it'll just mess up for everything for us. So what we should do is, now this step is something where you should look at applying the second derivative. To find out the second derivative, you should derivate this step itself. Okay, and a lot of times students don't know how to do it. So let's say, how do we apply the derivative at this stage? So I'm just going to rewrite that expression once again. So let's say expression here that we've got is 3x squared plus 3y squared dy by dx equals to 6xy plus 3x squared dy by dx. Now, how do we apply the derivative at this stage? So you basically take the derivative of both the sides with respect to it. Okay, so what we get is the derivative of 3x squared is 6x as it is. Now apply product rule on this. So 3y squared times dy by dx. So 3y squared is like u and dy by dx is like p. So first you derivate 3y squared. So it will become 6y into dy by dx. And also there is a dy by dx. So this is u dash v plus, now you do vu dash. So it will be 3y squared. Derivative is second derivative. So d square y by dx square. So this is the main step that a lot of students don't know how to do it. And this is where they mess up. So when you are doing derivative of dy by dx, it's not a big bang theory. This is simple as d square y by dx square. So after this step is on the right hand side. We need to operate even on the right hand side. So 6xy, the derivative of 6xy is 6x times dy by dx plus 6y. So that's the derivative of by applying product rule. So 6 times xy, so x into derivative of y, which is dy by dx here, and plus y times derivative of 6x, which is 6. Now, once again apply product rule on 3x squared dy by dx. So if I apply product rule on, so let's say product rule on 3x squared dy by dx, we get 3x squared times d squared y by dx squared. So like u v dash, so you do derivative of dy by dx will become d square y by dx square plus plus 6x dy by dx. An interesting point you notice is that there are like generally we have they'll give us x and y coordinates, and you just need to put in this to get first you'll get dy by dx by plugging those coordinates, and then you plug in that value in place of dy by dx. So, but here lots of times they give us to prove these steps. The 6y like dy by dx. Now see dy by dx if you multiply by 2 times will be dy by dx that's the whole square. See d square y by dx square. A lot of students have messed up with problems because they don't understand the difference between d square y by dx square and dy by dx the whole square. See dy by dx the whole square, it means you're taking dy by dx and multiplying with dy by dx, and this is like a finding second derivative of the function. So this part is here, and then you have got 3y square, and if you want to bring the like terms together. So if I bring in this thing here, you'll get minus 3x square, d square y by dx square, and also you got 6x plus 6x here. You can see 12x dy by dx, and also here is 6y. There is no dy by dx here, so it will become 12x dy by dx and plus 6y. So sometimes they ask you to prove these steps, like prove this identity, like prove that this is happening with the given relation. So this is mainly about the implicit differentiation, mainly about understanding how this is happening. Like I'll use this to show you a couple of questions on Maclaurin series. Okay, so this is an advanced function. This is an advanced like differential technique, and it is very important that you understand this. And let's take one more example on this.